Yes,
Ho, ho, ho.
yes, your call.
Welcome, everybody, to If These Walls Could Talk. I am Wendy Stuart,
And I am Tym Moss.
and we
Yay.
are so happy to be here with you. My God, this is like the days before Christmas.
Right? Christmas is what? Sunday, I think. Yeah.
It's Sunday, so in the 12 days of Christmas, what day would this be? That's a trick
This
question.
is probably five golden rings.
Is it 5 golden rings
Five.
today?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Right, 5
I don't
golden
have any
rings.
on.
Right. Well, my gosh, how did we get to be Christmas already? How did this
I know.
insane?
Oh my gosh. I've been running all over the country and
Every time I blink my eyes, Tim is in a different place, and
Yeah.
we're thrilled to have him back here with us today. As you know, I've been dancing by myself.
Right.
Dancing by myself. So it's good to have you back. Tim Moss, with all that live virus running through his body, just it warms my heart at the holiday time of year when everyone is sneezing and coughing. I know I can count on Tim Moss. He's done everything right. Oh my
Yes.
gosh! So
Well,
before, yes,
yes, I just wanted to say, did you have an announcement or?
I was going to have you make your announcement for us.
Okay, that's what I was going to do. I appreciate everyone tuning in to If These Walls Could Talk with your hosts, Wendy Stuart and Tym Moss. And we will be back with our incredible guest, Laurie Towers.
So let me tell you about today's guest. First of all, I wanted her on here for the longest time. From the moment I met her, she was promoting our incredible friend Rachel Hunter's book on Joy Landing, or Rachel. Rachel has a bunch of names because she gets hacked on book all the time. But her book is really incredible. And that's how I met Laurie Tower at the promo party, which we had. It's so long, right? We keep it all in the family. And I wanted Laurie on the show for the longest time. I did not know at that point that she was a fierce bass guitarist, a radio host, a PR guru, that she represents some of the most amazing women who have been on this show. And I just absolutely love her. She is a mover, a shaker, and has the biggest heart in the world. Please welcome Laurie Towers. Yay! Come on into our little.
I could go home after that. I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, we said it all. Let's get ourselves right in the middle.
Hi, Laurie. Mwah, 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 mwah.
You're so perfect to have on this show today. You can scoot over a little more. Sure, I do.
There we go.
I do. All those Christmas calories haven't ended up on my hips yet. So we still have room here. But wait till after the holiday.
Firstly, you do so much. I am grateful that you found the time to come on our show. Thank you.
Are you kidding me? I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah, she is one of the most positive right now, and Tim does this too. We are surrounding ourselves with just the most positive people in the world, because it's a really important thing for us all to do right now. I don't have to go into the state of things, but you can create your own world, you can create your own reality. And I'm not saying you become apathetic or any of this, but you know what? You can make your own day-to-day and your moment-to-moment fabulous. And you, girl, are making it fabulous here today. Now, you've been doing PR a long time.
You know something? Technically only 5 years, but I had a business.
You did.
For 35 years that I had to self-propel. And you know, if you ever hired PR, you're talking about $5,000 to $12,000 a month.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
So I had to do it myself. And I got my sports massage franchise in 57 different magazines, Vogue to Flex to Glamour.
So this was you doing, you didn't hire like anyone, right? Right, you couldn't, right.
Not that, no.
We love stories of true entrepreneurs.
Yeah, it's tough. And the thing is, you know, like anything else, selling is easy. I mean, think about when we were kids and you wanted to attract somebody who got a toy that you knew they liked.
Right.
And you played it in front of them.
Yeah.
And you had to sell instantly. And that's all it is. Everybody could sell. So PR was a very natural.
I love this. I need to know, because I'm looking at Tim. What was your toy that you were taunting people with, Tim?
I honestly, Play-Doh.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm picturing a fire engine, but that's
right. Okay.
Never gets them over there.
Well, honey, maybe I should try that now, because I could use fireman, a good fireman.
Right, you could get a fireman. Mine, believe it or not, maybe you would remember this, and you may remember this. Do you remember a Remco Frogman? Do you remember the plastic Frogman? You could put it in the tub. Yeah, I won it. I won it in an art contest. I was the only kid in the neighborhood that had one. So yes, people would come over to my house to see my Frogman go underwater. He's blowing over the thought of the Remco Frogman. He wasn't hot, Tim. He was just plastic with flippers. But Laurie, you brought out a very, very good point. We're all selling, right? And you're right. When you are forced to do it yourself, so you were able to get placement in all of those magazines.
Wow, that's impressive.
Like showing up at the right parties, knowing the right people.
Oh my God,
taking chances.
Right, take chances.
Schmoozing and boozing. That's and staying with it, because it's never stopped. You can't say, well, I'm going to do it just this month.
Right.
It's ongoing. So it's been 35 years of that.
Oh my God! I told you she was hardcore. I said you're fierce, and you're right that it's the 35 years, because people all the time. I have this said to me all the time. Why are you working so hard? Like, do they think like if I stop working, it'll all go away?
Yeah,
Every single thing that I've. No, people just don't get it.
But you like to work, though, don't you?
I'm a Capricorn.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. I love to work, but it's like, we focus on something. I always tell people, keep your eye on the prize. So you started out doing this fitness thing. Okay, why that?
My degree is in exercise science, and I just added massage on for an extension of something else.
Make yourself more dimensional.
And within, I would say, 6 months of me taking that board exam, it took off.
Wow.
And it was never intended. I never minded. I loved what I did, but it was just like all of a sudden you're getting invited to these parties. New York Magazine is doing a feature. Then Glamour comes in, then Allure. And before you know it, you're here.
Right.
I enjoyed every inch of it.
You loved every inch of it. Yeah. I have to ask how much of it, though, because I'm listening to what you did. I'm looking at you, how you look, super beautiful woman. So that is it. What Laurie created to me is a package. And you know about packages, Tim. All of us are marketing ourselves as packages there. So they had the whole package with you. Besides the degree, you could talk. You looked gorgeous and slim. And you were someone, when you talk about fitness gurus, you look at them and they have, sorry, but this is all marketing. You have to look a certain way. You have to, your clients want to know that they're going to do what you're telling them and they're going to come up looking like you.
Well, the truth is, if you're in the health industry, you have to look it.
Right.
You just do it. You have to walk. You have to look like everything you're saying on your resume.
Right.
It's only fair that that's the case.
Right.
So so it was easy. And working out is my drug of choice. Every day before I even consider anything business-wise, I'm working out. So that could be 4 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning.
I can't work. I work out 4 times a week. I can't do it at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I could do it. I have to.
Sometimes you're at clubs. Sometimes you're coming in at 4 in the morning. We're not that late. goes right to her weight.
You know what? This is my thought. This is going to get me from where I have to go.
I love it.
So if I have to run through a train, it's going to let me do it. If I'm going to have to run up a couple stairs, I have to do it.
Same.
And I just turned 60, so, and I say that boldly. This is how 60 could look. Your body doesn't have to break down.
Oh my God, this woman is after all our hearts.
But also, again, like she was saying, with PR and presentation and with fitness, can you talk a little bit about physical advantage?
Oh,
Yeah.
Because that is your business, and fitness is part of it. So it's all related.
I think the nice thing about physical advantages is what I didn't like in massage therapy is it was looked at a very certain way. You got that whole massage called stigma.
Right.
So I wanted to go out and change the face of massage therapy. So physical advantage was pretty much all we did was sports and dance related injuries. So I had an office on Broadway. All the dancers came after the shows. I had trainers working with me. I had, and all we did, people called me up and said, "Oh, can you just do my feet?" And I would say, "Well, are you a runner? What's wrong with your feet?" And they would say, "Oh, I just like the way it feels. Go to Elizabeth Arden. Go someplace else." That's not what we do. And I don't want to take your money and disappoint you.
My feet are my most sensitive. Oh, my feet. The sound of it, my feet.
Yes. But the whole thing is, we just dealt with all the hospitals used to
Sports medicine.
Sports medicine. Yeah. They all refer to us because that's all we did. And I never want to take somebody off the street and, I just do a regular massage. That's not what we do.
No, you're extremely serious.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, you had like major league sports, like Yankees and Mets, the Giants, the Jets,
Every New York
Knicks,
team,
Rangers.
I had to sign waivers and every major team came.
Did you have Reggie Jackson?
I had every major team come in. That's all I'm saying, Wendy.
Oh, you did? Okay, she was his manager. One of my survival jobs was working for his manager, and I met a lot of sports figures because of that. But I said,
but it also, and wasn't just sports. You also had a lot of stage performers from like Martha Graham and American Ballet Theater, Alvin Ailey, and even like the Radio City Rockettes.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I love that you mentioned the Rockettes because first of all, it's this time of year. This is really their time of year, their Christmas show. But in the modeling world, of course, I knew a number of Rockettes because a lot of them moonlighted as models when they weren't Rocketting. But what people don't realize, the wear and tear on their body is ridiculous. It's not a great thing to go into because long term
it looks good on the resume. That's what I always say. I mean, they are probably the most handsomely paid dancers you will ever find.
As they should be,
the shows that they do. And you're talking about the Gold Line is doing 6 shows a day. Wow. So then you start factoring in what they're actually making, but it looks good on a resume.
Right.
But the wear and tear is
no.
2 years. Okay, so I didn't even know that. Wow.
Now tell us the difference between what you do at Physical Advantage as compared to, say, other massage or massage work. Or
I always say we're not better. We're just dealing with the injury specifically. In other words, if I get MRIs, I read them, and if it's something that's serious, I have to take it myself, or I farm it out to somebody else. But it's all specific. I mean, people come in, and I either have to see X-rays or an MRI.
You need your medically based. Yeah. Tim's got a fierce MRI to show you. Don't you, Tim? Hold it up for the camera.
What's the matter with you?
Which one?
Which part of his body? Right.
I just got over sciatica. That was so not fun.
You're over it though.
It's pretty much behind me. I'm not using a cane anymore.
He was working. You heard all those jobs he was doing. He was working. Yeah.
I flew to Florida when we had to fly to Florida to do 2 shows where I had to fall down on stage 3 times, and I took my cane with me to Florida. Yeah. I did it. I fell down, got back up, fell down, got back up.
You know what it made me think about though?
That's the life of a performer.
When you gave your big birthday party and you appeared on stage with a walker, it was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It was my 60th birthday party. and I had at a club in Midtown, and my opening number, I came out bent over with a walker and a robe, and by the end of it, I'm spinning the walker, and I rip the robe off, and I've got this silver bodysuit underneath, and so it was fun. It was
fabulous. But fast forward to now, he's like,
actually with
it's like, oh my God, what the heck?
I was with the cane last week.
That's debilitating.
It is. It really is.
To 2 months. It's
Right. So with Laurie, within a lot of the people that you started out doing that. Is that how you expanded into PR? What was the path?
Which came first, the chicken or the egg, the PR or the physical fitness?
I'm going to be very honest with you. Once COVID hit, my husband and I, John, he was on the show. We always had, for the past 10 years, we had a small boutique PR firm.
Right. And can we give his full name because he's fabulous?
John
Pietaro.
Hi,
just a big, tall bruiser of a guy and a pussy cat. And writes beautiful poetry, and he's a good guy. Okay, enough about him.
So once everything closed down in COVID, obviously the health industry got it first. Right. So I had to shut down. I had 13 locations. All of them had to go.
Wow.
So it's like you itemize your losses, and then you realize, okay, one lawyer tells you one thing, the other accountant tells you, and it could be something that could be 5 years. So I said to myself, okay, I can't. Trainers, nobody was training.
Right.
No one to be touched. Had to put my trainers out of work. Had to,
See, I don't know any of this about you. You're blowing me away.
Oh, okay. But I'm glad. But then I said, what am I going to do?
Right.
I'm going to go crazy because you know what it's like not to work. Just so.
Well, I like you. I had to start inventing stuff.
So I told John, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a big nationwide press release. And we're going to bring out the public relations firm, and we're going to offer 6 months free PR to any businesses that were suffering.
Wow. Smart you.
And you know what? Busy.
Right.
Kept him busy.
Right.
Yeah.
And we made a lot of good friends, and we actually helped people, and we got a ton of press for that. So it was the right thing to do at the time, and now I'm doing that. Now massage is more like the side hustle.
Right.
Wow.
And this is a great example of somebody that went out on a limb, woke up like I did or you did, Tim, and said, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. I don't care that they shut New York down March 12th. How could they, and people like us, the self-employed, you're right. No, and with what you did, my God, nobody wanted to be touched. You basically, it's like all of a sudden everything up in smoke. What was your mental process, Laurie? You're such a strong person.
I think sometimes you jump and don't think about it because you overanalyze and you paralyze yourself. And I make sure as long as I'm busy, I'm going to be fine. But the minute I have
time to think,
the dark hours will creep in. And I didn't want that. So we got a ton of clients and we just kept busy. And before you know it, two years went by and we just gradually go back into the office.
Right, right.
You do what you need to do.
Yeah, and you rebuild if you have to rebuild.
And you know something? There are so many stories that are far worse than mine. So I always say, live like a rock star. I have a beautiful husband, a beautiful place, beautiful people around me. Life is good.
Right.
People have far worse than
because you created your life to be good.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for tuning in. If These Walls Could Talk with hosts Wendy Stuart and Tym Moss, our amazing and wonderful guests, the fabulous Laurie Towers. Now, I would like to rewind. I found your life has been incredible, and it's just who you are.
Right.
Where did you grow up? And tell us about the cartooning.
Oh wow! You've done really.
But this will kind of put the pieces into place as to you've always had that push.
Well, let me tell you something. I was trying to get, and I still have the cartoons that I had. I had a strip called Gidget that I was trying to get.
Gidget.
And then I had to change it to Muffin because of copyright. But I remember at 13, I was sending it into the New York Times, Daily News, and Tim, I still have all the rejection slips.
Oh my God.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
You just said something. But at 13, but the fact that you even did it at 13, like, who was the wind beneath your wings? You're a Brooklyn girl, you know. What kind of family?
I was raised by a single mother, so I guess that's always
a
little
Okay.
bit
strong woman.
incentive.
Yeah.
And we had an older brother who is wonderful, but it was always that kind of pecking order. If you have a sibling,
Right.
especially a male sibling,
Uh-huh.
that's what you go through. So everything he did, I wanted to do.
Of course.
And, you know, again, I was growing up in the 60s. He always got the attention for it.
Right.
So it's like, you have to be louder, you have to shake hands harder, and that's just the way you have to do
Well,
it.
but now that kind of opens the door for your advocacy for women.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Is that where that started?
Yeah, you know what? And this is why I always say, when women say, you know what? Yeah, I'm not a feminist, though. How could you not be?
Right.
How could you not?
Well, okay.
I
But that word feminist, like now compared to when you and I first started embracing it, it has changed over the meaning of it so many times. I've rephrased it for me. I'm a woman that's for equality for other women.
Sure.
You know, that means a strong platform that we stand on and we help each other.
I usually say gender symmetry.
I love that.
That's what I want.
Say that again for me.
Gender symmetry.
All
I want
the buzzword
is treat me as an equal. And
right.
I agree.
I'll be honest with you. If Don has a flat, I'm out helping him. If I have to carry my amp, which is 50 pounds, I always tell him, no, I'm carrying it. So I will live by my word.
Laurie pulls, she pulls her own weight.
Yeah, I like better treatment. I want the same treatment.
Right, right. The same treatment. I don't want to change a tire. I have to be honest with you, but hey, that's okay.
But I will.
Okay. I will. Tim doesn't want to change one either.
Yeah. That's why I need a husband.
Something that I could his head or something little power I have over here.
So getting back to that childhood, so this 13-year-old kid, you know, is submitting her cartoons, getting rejections. You're a very creative person. What were you like at that age growing up in Brooklyn, and was it supported?
I will say this, and my mother's been passed many years, so I want to speak ill of the dead. Thank you. You didn't get support that much when you were a young woman in the 60s. Now, we were in a household where there was just my mother.
Yeah.
She made sure my brother got more watering, and I totally get why. But, you know, again, she kind of missed the point that, well, if there's no male figure, your daughter needs that too. So you have to. That
was a big concept, though, to embrace.
Exactly.
Right,
her generation.
Right.
And you know what? She made mistakes. I probably would have made the same amount of mistakes, just different ones.
Right. Right. And also, you know, Laurie brought up growing up female in the 60s and from a borough, you know, it was like my world. My mother loved the Bronx. I grew up in the Bronx. I was not taught to go after the big picture. My sister was the photographic memory. I was the funny one. So I was labeled the funny one from the time I was a kid. And I remember I had stars in my eyes. My mother was Miss Connecticut in 1935. She modeled with Lucille Ball in the city and Shelley Winters, whose name was Shirley Shrift at the time. I grew up with those stars in my eyes because I knew the Bronx. I wasn't supposed to be there. Now look at all the great people we know from the Bronx. And funny, the Bronx found me again through Tym Moss. But when you're that kid with stars in your eyes, the glamour and the way I saw what my mother had done, but that she did not have that in the cards for me. And I would talk about things like that. She would say to me, you need to get something you can fall back on. You need to get a job in the phone company. And I grew up, I don't know if your mother waved the phone company, but Tim, that was like, they hired women. You got a good paycheck. You could punch in.
My sister-in-law worked for the phone company. Yeah.
So there, you know, was considered a good job. And I'm like, no, Wendy's not going to work for the phone company. No, absolutely not. I started going to model agencies at 15 years old and was turned down as you got your rejection letters, 13. I was turned down by every single model. They would say to me, where's your mother? Yeah. My mother wouldn't come with me.
Wow.
So what propelled you, Laurie, you had the older brother. Your mother didn't give you 100% backing because moms often didn't in those days. What makes Laurie?
Well, yeah, because I mean, your mother coming from her generation, it just wasn't done.
Right.
No.
Thank you.
know,
It wasn't.
No, and she came from a huge Italian family.
Right.
So, you know, the girls, when you were saying that about your mother, at least your mother told you to get a job.
Right.
Women in my family, well, she's going to get married.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So at least she.
And the embellishments of your brother. Look at us. We're in psychoanalysis
No,
again today. We always end up there. But it is, and you were Italian, the cultural thing in your family, the boy, well, even in Jewish families, you know, the son, the boy, the prince.
Yeah, no.
The girl's going to find a husband. Or I remember growing up with the words, grab yourself a rich guy. Oh my God, I would never tell my daughter that, you know.
Yeah. But now on the other flip of the coin, look at today. Look at all the accomplishments and how they've come. Granted, there's still a long way to go.
Absolutely.
But
it's not perfect, but we're better than we were. And
but
that
women are running corporations. They're in the top in entertainment, and
it's better. It's much better.
It's better, but you know this, Tim, and Laurie knows this. You're still fighting your way to get ahead, and certainly in some industries that are I don't want to say male dominated, but egocentric male dominated. Because there's a great minute there. Give everybody equal footing, but the egocentric male. Oh my God, they are still out there. These titans of corporations, and Lord knows I've met more than a few at events at the Explorers Club in New York. It attracts that type of male, and it's like, oh my God, Wendy breaks out in a rash talking to some of them. You know, it's still out there, but the younger kids have come along.
You know, it depends how the younger guys were raised. Now, I can tell you, I could go to family gatherings, and these are my cousins that love me,
right?
And they will still man speak.
Man speak.
I will go to, and nobody says how's business. They ask John how's work, and this is just
because you're invisible, right?
This is still what we're up against, and after a while, you just say, you know, I don't care. I know who I am.
Right.
It's hard. How's work, John? And it's like,
hello,
I'm here.
Right.
And these are people that love me.
Right.
Yeah.
If they're going to do that, what do I expect out there?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's really it.
A rude awakening.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to If These Walls Could Talk with your host, Wendy Stuart, and Tym Moss, and our wonderful and special guest, the fabulous Laurie Towers.
Okay, so Laurie threw this into our universe a few sentences ago. Carrying own amp. Okay. Yeah. I want to talk about her music career.
Oh my God, yes.
Start for you.
Okay, first of all, local 802 in the house. I'm a union member finally.
Yay! Let's hear for local 802.
I started when I was 13, and again, it was always my brother Larry, who I love dearly, and he's listening. I hope he's not drinking.
Hi, Larry.
It was always competition. He's a marvelous bass player, but he wouldn't let me play his bass. He has beautiful Hofner. You know Paul McCartney's bass?
Yeah.
Beautiful Hofner. And I always went, so we'd locate. He would tell me, well, you could learn to play if you learn to read sheet music. Okay. Tried to read chord charts and everything, taught myself. Then he goes, no, the bass isn't about reading. The bass is about just having feeling. Yeah. So I realized, you know, I'm not going to play this bass. He's never going to let me win. I got my own and never looked back. And so I'm playing now 47 years.
Wow.
That is incredible to me.
Yeah.
Now, the first time you got on stage and started to play the bass, tell us about that experience.
Okay. I was at this party out in Staten Island that we got hired for, and I was playing.
This was a group, a band?
Yeah, it was. My brother was playing a lead guitar.
Oh.
And I was playing bass.
It was a family affair.
And John was actually on drums.
So you knew John back then?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I knew him a long time. He's actually my brother's friend.
She married him.
Oh, I love that.
I married him. And I still married. And I was playing, I remember Another Brick in the Wall by Pink Floyd.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
And it's a very consistent, nothing great. But I remember I was singing at the time, and I was like, you know what, I don't even want to sing. I love this more. And that was it. And
You have a beautiful voice, though. I heard you come into tune
Oh,
before we
thank you.
started.
Thank you.
You wanted to play bass.
Yeah.
So you and your brother are in this band.
Yes.
Too much.
Well, I went on to try those in those days. I wanted to start an all-female band, so that's what I started doing after that. So when I was like 19, 20, I was in and out of the city trying out for all these
females.
Yeah.
Like, so you remember like the Narama and the Flowers,
the Go-Go's.
the Go-Go's. I love the
Go-Go's.
Go-Go's. Yeah. Were they influencers for you, or?
You know, the fun thing is, at the time, I wasn't crazy about how they played. Kind of thought they were very simple, but now I listen to them like, you know what? They were in the pocket. They were good. They had nice little songs. You crank it up.
Yeah, right.
It's just supposed to feel good. It doesn't have to be technical.
Oh, oh my God, I love that. Right, the hell with technical.
No, well, that was one of my questions. Was what genre? Was it jazz? Was it pop? Was it?
I would say more funk, fusion, jazz.
Oh,
I love great pop. I mean, Carol King is probably my favorite bass player, and she's the bass player that you've heard all your life. She was a studio player. She's still with me.
Wow.
Still doing it.
But funk is all about the bass. It's all about the bass.
And that's the best thing. The thing that I liked most about disco was it brought the bass up in the track, and the bass was it. So that's the one thing I always loved about disco, but I was more a pop person.
So did you do like cover performances? Like what
we did originals, we did covers. I mean, I liked different composition. I liked original music.
Okay.
You know, I joined a band. I really like to learn somebody else's interpretation.
Yeah.
But we did covers too. Yeah. But when you play covers, there's not a lot of freedom.
Right,
Yeah,
right, because you're the
yeah,
perimeters of
yeah.
the person who wrote it in the first place.
Yeah.
So, being female, being a bass player, what kind of obstacles did you come across?
Everything from walking into a Sam Ash and having every possible salesperson come running over. Do you need help with that, honey? Do you want me to plug that in? And
Laurie, tell them where to put that plug.
The thing is, now when I walk into a music shop with John, they'll look at us both. How can we help you? But then it was always, how can we help you? And he'd be over there, I'd be over there. But now it's a little bit better. But what I do now is when I plug in, I'll just crank it up and I'll do what I have to do. And usually there's another bass player there who makes his a little louder. I just stay there. You want to put chicken with me? I play.
It's like a pissing contest.
And you know what? And there's no reason, because there's room for everybody. You know,
Thank you. Absolutely.
He doesn't have to do that. Right. But if you're going to do that to me, I'm going to. Yeah.
Right.
I'm staying on.
And again, I love your being. I love that you fitness was always kind of more the man's thing.
Yeah.
Bass player, always sort of the man's thing. You know, you have walked in to these manscapes,
right,
and took over. You just did it. I love that about you.
Right.
And again, you have so much to teach other women from your experiences, and that's why you're like the perfect advocate.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, the truth is, and I tell my daughters, tell my nieces, you know, ask why. If somebody tells you, well, you can't do that.
Oh boy, that's a biggie.
Ask why. Why exactly? It doesn't have to be a fight. If you're not, I'm more confrontational, but if you, well, why is it just for women? Why? I mean, you're not hearing that much anymore.
Right.
Well, this is just for girls. But if you think that a dialogue is going in that direction, ask why.
Yeah, the why though can be very unnerving for that person. That is, because then you get back, why are you being confrontational? Yeah. I just had an incident before I came here asking for money from my model agency, and they keep they don't, I'm like a hot potato to deal with, because like Laurie, I'm honest. I'm like, okay, why is this taking long? I will always ask the why. I've raised my daughter that way, and she's heard my conversations on the phone with clients, and when I'm trying to get, even with doctor's offices, okay, if you're not being clear, I'm going to call you out on it, you know, and then you get that little pause of silence at the other end of the phone as they try and comprehend, and then you will get your answer. But you know what? I find as a female, you got to keep pushing, you got to keep
You
pushing,
do.
you got to go the
Yeah.
extra mile.
And even in the medical industry,
Yeah.
I always tell women,
Right.
you have a right, when you go into a doctor's office, don't
Well,
just,
she hit the nail on the head with
don't-
that, right?
because again, older doctors, and there are a lot of wonderful progressive new doctors
Yes.
who are male that do listen. Most doctors of that generation don't, and they dismiss
Right.
you
Yep.
and keep at it. If you know something is wrong, you keep going. Take it to another doctor. Take it, but doctors very easily corrupted half of women's health just by being
Wow.
dismissive and not listening.
Right. By being
And that's
dismissive.
what we have to learn.
Right.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
Well, again, thank you for tuning in to If These Walls Could Talk with your hosts, Wendy Stuart and Tym Moss. Our wonderful and special guest, the fabulous Laurie Towers.
Oh my God, she's just got me infused. I want to go out to the street and shout out something. I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Speaking of shouting,
What was that? Wasn't that, Tim? That was Network with George C.
Network,
Scott.
yeah, from Network. I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Right.
But speaking of shouting out, tell us about Raising the Bar.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's raising the bar.
She's raising the bar. Yeah.
It was a
Or she's
podcast
raising the bar.
that I started 10 years ago. It was originally the Bridal Body Shop, and that's a business I had.
Right.
I've got brides and grooms in shape for the wedding.
I love it.
And I had
I
a
love
show
that.
treatment that I was handing around to different, I wanted to make it into a reality show. So that didn't work. So I said, you know what? Let me start this blog, this radio show. And we changed it. When Trump got into office, I said, you know something, do we have to do something more specific? And my host at the time, Lee Ziegman, said, you know something, why don't we do something a little bit more feminist? You know,
And it took off. There you
off.
go. Right.
So-
Well, it just seems you instinctively have your hand on the pulse. What do you think that is? Is it an epiphany that you get, or a light bulb that goes off, or you just purely, there are some people that are just purely instinctive and know what to do at the right time?
I think it's a little bit of instinct and not being afraid to try something.
Not being afraid to try. That's a biggie. Yeah.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen? If I get humiliated, it's happened
Right.
before. It'll happen again. I don't really worry about that. But staying in one place is the perfect store of failure. Moving forward never is.
My God.
You know? Never is.
I need a book from this woman.
It's one page.
No, it's like, this is, Laurie Towers, the codes I live by. Sharing my day-to-day success with all of you. I love it. We got the title. We
Right
got
there.
the TV movie of the week.
It is. Well, listen, if Harry and Meghan do it, I mean, come on.
Have you seen that?
Oh, okay, she put me in the hot seat here. You all know I don't have time for Netflix because I'm so busy promoting my shows, promoting what I do, following with everything. It's 11:30 at night and I'm still on the computer. But I have been making a personal choice to just try and take my mind away from social media and my work and all of that. So what could be fabulous and mindless? I lay on the couch and I go on Netflix. So I saw The Coming Attraction, and you know what it is? I'm going to make a confession to both of you here. It was the fact that The Coming Attraction, Megan could have been any of the girls that I did modeling or acting with when I first came to New York.
Right.
You know, she got a role on Suits. All right,
Oh, okay,
and right, she
okay.
did have a legitimate, and then she parlayed her life into something spectacular. And the only other person I knew that did that, I was at the same model agency, and this is a true story, with Marla Maple. And it was Filer Models, and all, I would take the train to my go-sees. You know what a go-see is when you go meet a photographer. Marla started driving up in a limo. And I'm like, what is up with that? And somebody told me, and I knew her. I'm like, hey, you must be dating somebody really important. And she said, I am. Someone told me she met Trump at Marble Collegiate Church, because that was where you went to find a rich guy. My mother was right. Oh my God, I should have.
He was at church?
I bet that's what I was shocked about. He actually
Marble Collegiate, though, was like, it was church, but it was like, models went there to meet wealthier men.
Okay.
So that being said, I was really interested in Megan's story because she was a normal girl. Like I'm a normal girl, you're a normal girl. I don't always use the word woman. So yeah. So it interested me, and then I got hooked. I watched the first one, and then it rolled into this. That night, I watched all 3 in a row, and I hate confessing this. I was looking forward to the following week with the 3 new ones, which I watched too. And sum total of the whole thing, I mean, you know what? Good for her, but it's got nothing to do with the rest of us. But I will say, in the terms of reality show trashness, I think they may have outdone the Kardashians. Because they've got the whole thing with the Kardashians don't have the royal family. Come on, you guys, the royal family is like, you could go on forever with the conspiracies with the royal family. And that's what their 6 episodes, there's so much alluding. The stuff we all heard about Diana, it's all there. So anyway, if you have nothing else to do over the Christmas holiday, have a glass of wine or light up doobie and watch all 6 episodes. Only 6? I love Laurie. It's only 6. Yeah, so far there's only 6. Anyway, that's mine. We have a fascination with. For me, because
we have a country, right? A fascination with the royals. We just do.
Well, it's, they always say like that's how the other half lives.
I guess.
And it's the other half. It's the fantasy, right? It's the total. We had a lot of comments on this.
Yes. Well, first, we need to wrap up this segment right now. Tell everybody where, how they can find out more about you, about Laurie Towers.
LaurieTowers.net. And you could listen to, in fact, my show is tonight with my husband, John, WFMU's Sheena's Jungle Room Beneath the Underground. And on Maker Park Radio every other Friday night, 10 to 12, is Jazz Just After Dark, which I co-host and produce.
Wow.
He's getting off scot-free. He's not paying for PR. He's not paying for
Yeah,
he does. I always tell my husband that too. I do it all, but Alan does the lighting for our show and edits all my stuff. And he's sweet, right?
And also Physical Advantage. Be sure to mention that.
Everything is in the Laurie Towers link. It has a Physical Advantage. She's raising the bar. I have my performance. Everything's there. So it's LaurieTowers.net.
And her website, I have to say, is very concise. It's easy to navigate. You can go on. Yeah, that's really important.
Well, I just want to say thank you very much. And please go to LaurieTowers.net for all things Laurie Towers. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you taking some time and coming on If These Walls Could Talk.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay. We'll be right back.
Okay, now, the hat's coming off.
The hat come off.
And chat for a little while. We're still on the air.
We're still on the air, and we have a lot of comments.
Yeah,
I'd like to. Can you clear? I can't see the comments.
I was hoping you would, because I can't see it.
Okay, good.
Let me see. Okay, well, we've got Apollo Cabrera says great show.
Nice.
Stephanie from Boston says hello.
Hi, Stephanie.
Sue's Genero from Sue's GX.
She's an amazing designer, Sue's. Oh yeah. She wants you to do a book. Oh, and a shout out from Prince Fleet Easton. Don't mess with Aunt Lucy. So that's the character I was in the commercial. Thank you, Prince Easton, for tuning in and blowing the whistle.
Our good friend Joe Preston says, Laurie, you look fabulous.
Oh, she does. Hannah Q says, always nice to hear the stories of strong women. Hannah Johanna is an amazing choreographer, a dear friend of mine, and a mover and shaker.
And Hannah also says, no wonder you still love frogs, Wendy. And also for Wendy, Apollonia Cruz from the Bronx, she says, I'll change your tire, Wendy.
Oh, gotta have friends.
Yeah, gotta have friends. Apollonia Cruz also said that you're lovely. I love Apollonia.
Absolutely. Now, our friend Joe Preston, he also said, is Towers a stage name or a shortened family name?
That's Laurie Towers is my name. That was it. And this funny story, when my husband and I were getting married, I had to announce to his family that I wasn't taking his name. It was a big thing.
Yeah. So because that's a big Italian.
Oh God, I love that. My father-in-law, may he so rest in peace, I adored him. But in the beginning, it was like one of those butting heads. And I walked up and I said, we're getting married in 2 months. I hope you understand that I won't be taking your son's name. And he was like, oh, what? Jesus Christmas, I never heard of that. Are you kidding me? And I had to say, well, that's a nice tradition based on male supremacy, but that
Italian father
did not go over well.
No,
but
it didn't.
I also said, but I could be a very good part of this family without taking his name.
Right.
If I'm going to take his name, he's going to take mine. And I could see myself.
Right. So that you were asking of him.
It was, but something later in life. I mean, the last time I saw my father-in-law in the nursing home, he passed 2 years ago, March 17th. And I said, I love you. He said, I love you too. So that's how far we came.
Yeah, absolutely.
Difference in people.
So you have always just been so aggressive.
Yeah, really. Like way ahead of your time.
It didn't always make me friends, but I stayed true to myself. And that's really
right, exactly.
At the end of the day,
well,
at the
end,
you've always walked to the beat of your own faith.
Right. You always have your own truth. And ironically, tonight I have Karen Haycox, the head of Habitat for Humanity, coming on TriVersity Talk.
Oh, good.
And of course, researching her. Same damn thing, strong, truth seeker, not afraid to open her mouth, and the work that she's been able to do and the changes. It's amazing. Since I made the decision to surround myself with strong women, they are coming like magnets to me, and that is what I need at this point in time.
That's exactly right.
In my life.
And I always say, strong people are developed when we're not made.
Yeah.
We're strong because we keep getting up. We don't advertise the amount of times we fell.
Right.
We'll never know it.
Well, okay, so that's going to bring me to you as a PR person. With PR, right, we have to put the best of who we are out there, and we know what to do when that happens. But how do you deal with like just the utter bull of some people that you have to deal with? Because you're right, we get pushed down, we get back up, but there are people that will never acknowledge the push down, and they do it around other women in particular. Like life is just always fabulous and a bowl of cherries for them, and you want to take that person and get the hell real already.
Yeah. I have to say, I'm lucky enough to have clients that I like.
Yeah, and I've met your
point,
clients. They're fabulous.
And at this point, I don't have to take on the work.
Right.
I do have other streams of income. So if I feel we're not going to mesh, or we don't agree, I mean, a political disagreement I could deal with.
Of course.
But if there's something morally reprehensible, I won't take you on. Money, it's, that's blood money.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't.
Right.
Right.
It is blood money.
A couple more comments. Avalon Cruz also says, Laurie is lovely. Jenny Bookwalder says, preach.
Hi, Jenny.
From Indianapolis. Yes. And Prince Fleet Easton from Palm Springs says, have a great holiday, everyone.
Oh yeah, thank you, Prince Fleet Easton. You're getting some cold mornings there in Palm Springs.
Yes,
it makes me feel good because we're freezing our keisters here. We're about to get like a major. A snow bomb.
I know.
A snow bomb.
It's going to start from I think tomorrow.
Oh Lordy.
Oh my God. So, go shopping.
Go shopping online.
Get what you need.
So, what is your vision for yourself in the year going forward? We all have visions and the best laid plans. We also know that. But where do you see yourself going next, Laurie?
I'm going to go. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to go as far as I can. And from there, I'm going to go as far as I can. When people say, well, when you retire, who's going to retire?
Oh, I freaking hate that.
Why would I? I'm enjoying myself.
I think, okay, that's a whole other topic, though. Let's talk about that people want you, my God, my financial person said to me, he's like, why aren't you going down to Florida? You could play tennis. Can I have an ice pick through the phone so I could stab myself in the eye? What makes you think that I haven't spent X amount of time getting to where I am now? I am going to reap those rewards. You better believe it. And so are all the people that are in my world. I don't. Where does this come from? The golf course and the tennis.
It's the expectation, other people's expectations of, well, if you're at this, and didn't you notice that all through life?
Yeah.
You know, people, oh my God, they were asking me when I was young, when are you getting married?
Right,
Like getting married to have children and all of this. Well, then when the gay thing, you know, then, I mean, people, they're just constantly pressuring you all throughout life.
Yes.
Based upon their experience.
It's their criteria, right, Tim? It's their criteria.
Societal structures. And
right.
For men, for women, and eventually we're all oppressed until we move forward. And that's really it.
I could do a million T-shirts with this woman. I think we should open a T-shirt.
Another thing
there you go. Book. We have T-shirts with sayings of empowerment.
Yeah,
absolutely. But it's true. People tend to judge you by their own criteria. And Tim, you know what? I'd be a liar to say every now and then when I am a human being, when I've been on the subway 8 times in one day. Now, thank God, as Laurie and I were saying, there's more police on the platform. Thank God. But when I've had those really New York gritty days, like bad auditions, clients that you did something for that you think maybe that was a job and you should have gotten paid for it, and you don't. When you have that, I think about, you know, that suggestion of the golf course or the tennis court. And then I have to say to myself, Wendy, look at yourself. You're on a live stream with Christmas lights on. That's who you are. Right. No, right. And you don't need to wear the Christmas lights, but we're people that live our life in the bling. And by that, I mean the energy, what we get from talking to other people, performing. We're people. Right. We're people.
Yeah.
And we're mad as hell, and we're not going to take it anymore. Yeah.
Well, you know, people are genuinely unhappy with their lives, and they want to project it. I have to say, I wake up every day. I can't wait.
You do. I know.
Can't wait to see what happen next. And of course, bad days, but for the most part, it's life is wonderful.
Absolutely.
Right.
What is that line from Mame? Life is a buffet.
Right.
And most poor suckers are starving to death.
That's
because the buffet is laid out before you, but you got to get your ass up and go get it.
Yeah.
And sample it. That's what that buffet is for.
Well, you know, I was saying to somebody the other night, you know, at the end of the day, you never know if tomorrow is promised to you.
Thank you.
You just don't know.
Right.
So the bottom line is, all of us, maybe many years from now, are going to be spoken of in the past term. All of us. So now, do it right. Clean up whatever you have, any problems you have, clean it up. Enjoy what's here, because we just don't know from one day to the next.
We do not know from one day to the next. And the more I talk to this woman, I'm like, this isn't meant as an insult. You would be an amazing life coach. And up until hearing what you, a lot of the people I know that do life coaching, it's like, seriously? Who told you should be a life coach? Your life is so screwed up. And now you took a course and got a certificate. You're going to tell other people. But you, my dear, you, my dear, and you put the positive stuff out there, you know.
And wisdom. You've got life wisdom.
Thank you.
Right.
That we appreciate your sharing with us.
And you shared it with us.
A couple other
yes.
Also says, yes, do a book, please.
Yeah. You do the book.
Thank you.
I thought that one was very important. And our good buddy Ike Avelli says, happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
I love Ike.
Ike is amazing. He and I went to Florida and did 50 Shades of Gay.
And he's incredible. Oh, and while you're talking about Ike and everyone, December 28th, right here at Pangea, where we're streaming. It is 27. Thank you, Tim. He keeps me honest. It's a Tuesday night, 9:30. Kobe Cole is having his nouveau riche holiday party here. It's going to be a great show, and a whole bunch of us are coming. We'll be in the audience. Just come and party with us, folks.
Yeah.
Oh,
if you're watching this,
that's going to be a fun night.
It's a hard time of year for a lot of people.
It really
so
is.
I'm inviting you here. It's like a $5 cover. You'll have, the bartenders are great. You'll have a wonderful show.
The talent is off the chart in every one of Kobe's shows. Every one of Kobe's shows is off the
please
chart.
come here on December 27th at 9. I'm having a blonde moment.
So what is next? What is your next adventure?
You know, I'm having a great time with the shows. I'm
Excellent.
bringing the other one back. In fact, next week I'm doing a fitness show with Tammy Lee Webb of Buns of Steel and Abs of Steel.
Oh,
So,
that's huge. I love that.
yeah,
Right.
she's great, and she's been on the show. We do like between holidays and New Year's resolutions, because a couple of years ago I did Glamour magazine fitness resolutions,
Yeah.
and you know, truthfully, in fitness nothing really changes. It's just a really lifestyle changes. So people
Right.
are going for these bad diets that really don't work. They just make you feel like
But
something
they feel
goes
like
down.
you're in control. That's what it.
That's all
Right.
it is. That's all it is. So
Yeah. Do you have any suggestions? Like, again, I turned 61 this year.
oh, God bless
And what's that?
you. God bless you.
Well, thank you. And the body just isn't what it used to be.
Never is.
So I have to adjust
Yeah. Well, that's
exercise. I've had to constantly evolve, especially the past couple decades.
Mhm.
You know, and any suggestions, just maybe stay within our boundaries, or you know, our boundaries kind of change as we age.
You know, the truth is metabolism after a certain point does slow down. So
Yeah.
that's just the way it is. And we lose muscle mass. And when you lose muscle mass, that actually slows it down more. And that's why I always tell women, think about having muscle mass, because that will burn the extra
right. You gotta like
calories.
you
But women
gotta.
don't want to hear it. They're like, I don't want to look like that. But that's the truth.
You're right.
But if you can find something, a sensible diet, nothing, low carbs, low fat, lean protein, and move. That's it.
Mm.
Because it's got to be something you're able to do every day. Because when people
Lifestyle.
say, I went on a liquid diet and I
Ugh.
lost weight. Okay, you lose weight on chemo too. I'm not suggesting that. It just doesn't make sense. You have to live. Have one day that you have pizza or chocolate.
Oh my God, I so
One day,
agree.
One day,
Yeah.
but be sensible. Be good to your body. That's
Right.
really it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's you can always get things sucked out. I mean, the bottom line. No, I will. You know, anyone who knows me, I totally believe in all of that. And I think my next platform is going to be being the best you can be, because I do the working out, I do all that, I feel amazing. But you're right, you do reach a certain age, and now it is absolutely, they can blow you up like a goddamn cream puff now. But not that looks good, but you don't have any more wrinkles.
I always say, try to stay with anything white, rice, bread. Your plate should be colored, vegetables.
Yeah, healthy stuff.
Nice. Yeah.
Lean pieces of meat. That's what it should look like. It should. People say, "Well, I eat a lot of corn." Well, corn's a starch, so stay.
And corn is supposed to not have
have
any value to it, but
it tastes good. That's about it.
it tastes good, right?
Mhm.
Right. It's not.
That's about it.
And Tim does so much walking. He goes across the George Washington Bridge. How many times?
Yeah, I live up near the GW Bridge, so I walk over that and back, and I rehearse. I sing and practice. I just sing my heart out.
Good.
Yeah, and I do that like about 3 times a week, usually 3 to 4.
And with your sciatica, I guess that's
Well, with the sciatica, I hadn't done it but I did it Monday and Tuesday, and today on Wednesday. Oh, am I feeling it?
Well, walking is.
But I'll do it again tomorrow before the cold comes in, and then I should be good for the
before
weekend.
the storm comes in. Yeah. Do it. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I keep weights at home. I have weights at the gym. I do the elliptical trainer, and but I love working at it. And I know why you love it too. Right. It just makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm in control. And she's right. You know, we're New York City girls running up and down subway stairs. All right, running all over town, and you know, I can't just be laying and throwing bonbons up in the air. That's not my personality.
And also another thing is, because there are those days where you just don't feel like it. I just don't feel like it. But if you push yourself to do it, you feel so much better.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. And look at you. You are hither and yonder with that sciatica nerve. And I have such tremendous respect for you as a performer anyway. But the fact that I know I used to have chronic back pain. I know what it's like. And you're performing in agony, and you have to be up on stage and making everyone feel good. Wow. That's a big challenge.
And I try to do it without letting the audience know.
You can.
My body's going,
Do you have any plans to go away over the holiday at all, or?
I'm just going to visit my niece and my nephew in West
Nice.
Lexington, but that's about it.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
going out to Huntington and
Oh,
meet
good.
my daughter's boyfriend's family for the first
Nice.
time
Oh, nice.
for
Nice.
Christmas.
You haven't met them yet?
No.
Oh.
And they met over during the pandemic. I've met him, of course, but yeah, this is a biggie.
Oh, nice.
So I'm here. I have to be on good behavior, and I promised I wouldn't wear the Christmas lights. They're
Walk
Italian,
in with Christmas lights.
You can wear the
right? They're Italian. Laurie said I could wear them.
But also, again, please go to Laurie's website
Yeah.
at laurietowers.net
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
and
you.
find out everything about this wonderful, fabulous woman.
You, I know, have one of your clients, and I don't know when it is. You have a book signing coming. You will always have those kinds of things coming up. You'll let us
Oh, of
know
course I will.
when that is taking place.
Yeah.
And Tim and I shouted out on the show.
Mhm.
We're in New York, and we're about social. We're about business, and we're about having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice
And
to
again-
have all those together.
I agree.
Really is.
Now, and if there's book signings or show performances or anything, just let us know because we're always out and about around town. If we
We're
can make
out.
it
That's
there.
us.
That's the best way to be.
Out and about. Well,
Laurie, thank you again.
Thank
so
you.
very
thank
Thank
you.
you.
And thank you everybody for tuning in.
much.
Have an amazing holiday, however you choose to celebrate it. There's no pressure. If you want to stay home and sit on the couch and watch Netflix, the Harry and Meghan story, you do that. Just have a whole bottle of wine, which believe me, it's better if it's like a little tipsy. You'll like it better. But also reach out to people that you know that may be alone this holiday.
Absolutely.
It's really important to remember that, and share the love.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Because
right.
we're all in this together.
Amen.
So
Amen. Happy holidays, everybody.
holidays.
Bye-bye.
happy Kwanzaa and happy
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.